Roman Babature with another first impressions video, this time Cuba, Paris, Gold. So let's get started. Very smooth. I want to say it's lavender. There's a certain almost aquatic quality to this one, primarily fresh. There's some sweetness, some powderiness. Almost reminds me a little bit of baby powder in a way, but that's just the way the notes are combining together. But yeah, very fresh, soft. There's a certain not the projection being soft, it just has a certain smooth and soft quality about it. It just reminds me of being wrapped in something soft. That's why I say it reminds me of baby powder in that way, that it's just very soft, warm, cushiony, almost like you're wrapped up in a blanket on a warm blanket on a cold day. That's basically what the kind of feeling I'm getting from it. But it's fresh, with a little bit of aquatic vibe. There's a sweetness and a powderiness, a little bit, not overly powdered, but just a hint of powderiness to it. That's pretty much what I'm smelling in the opening. It's been a few minutes. It's not really changing much. I'm gonna give it a half an hour to dry down a little bit more, and I'll give you an update on how it's developing. Alright, it's been about a half an hour, and it has changed a little bit. It's taken on a little bit of a almost herbal quality. I think perhaps some of the base notes are finally coming through, and it actually starts to smell a little bit more like baby powder, to be honest, but not in like juvenile way. It's still very mature, so it's changed a little bit. It hasn't really changed much in its development so far. Perhaps it will a little bit more after a few hours, but it's become a little bit more herbal in the sense that a certain warmness is starting to come through. It's still fresh, but that aquatic note that I was talking about has dissipated, and it's primarily fresh, a little bit powdery with a certain warmness in the background. It's not very prominent, but primarily it's this fresh and powdery smell. And if I'm not mistaken, that is lavender. That is the primary note that I'm smelling there. Overall, I do like it. I don't think it's necessarily something that's groundbreaking, but it is pleasant. I think it won't necessarily garner very many compliments as a fragrance, but it is definitely pleasing. Nothing offensive. Very much just an overall pleasing smell. And again, this is just my first impression. Perhaps later in the dry down it becomes a little bit more interesting, but primarily it's just this fresh and slightly powdery fragrance. That's pretty much what I'm getting from it at this point. That's you guys. Thanks for watching. That was my first impression for Cuba, Paris, Gold. Don't forget to like and comment on this video. Let me know what you guys think of this fragrance. What is your experience with it? And if you haven't already, please subscribe. Thanks again. God bless.